Welcome, Cub Nation, to our Thursday briefing. My name is Huey Kinchen, and I am the Interim Superintendent for Brenham ISD. I want to start off with some great news tonight. This past Tuesday night, our school board named the lone finalist for Superintendent. His name is Tyler Chaplin. Dr. Chaplin comes to us from Brenham ISD, where he presently serves as Superintendent. He brings a wealth of experience to Brenham ISD, serving as a teacher, a coach, assistant principal, and now superintendent. We're excited to welcome him, and I am confident that he will be a great fit in Brenham ISD. I'd like to talk about last week and the reopening of schools and the 2 surveys that were provided. We gathered a lot of information from the reopening plan, and it was very helpful as we plan for the opening of schools. The 2 surveys that we asked you to fill out have also provided us with information necessary for a successful start to schools. But I'm asking you that have not completed the surveys to do so. Please go to the website and fill those surveys out, because the information that we gather from those surveys will help us in determining how best to meet the needs of our students as we start school. As a result of those surveys, we received literally hundreds of questions in terms of what it takes for us to open school. They really fall in 2 areas. One is instruction, and the other is safety and security of our students and staff. Let me assure you that our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Hendricks, has worked tirelessly with her team to make sure that we're going to provide the best educational experience for your students, whether it be remotely or face-to-face. The one thing I can guarantee you is that it will look nothing like it did in the spring. In terms of our buildings and opening protocols, Mr. Oschenbeck and his team, Mr. Oschenbeck is the Assistant Superintendent for Operations. They have worked hard to make sure that we have the appropriate adjustments necessary for our schools to be safe. Let me show you a prototype of what we're going to use in the classroom. We have a plexiglass screen that teachers can utilize throughout the instructional day to provide a barrier between them and students. Every teacher will have access to one of those screens. We also have a large plexiglass screen that we can use that will go down the middle of a table in the cafeteria, or we can use it as a barrier for an instructional table, such as an elementary classroom with kidney tables. Both of these will provide extra security for our teachers and our students. There were a number of questions regarding special education. If you are presently receiving special services, I encourage you to go to our website, go to our COVID-19 Information Center and click on it, and you'll find our special education reopening plan. Hopefully it will answer many of the questions that you have. Friday, our surveys, the deadline ends. At that time, we're going to formulate an FAQ page on our website so that most of your questions will be answered. Remember, they fall in those 2 categories: instruction and safety protocols. Also next week, you're going to receive a commitment form. This commitment form is going to ask you 3 questions. Do you want your child to attend school face-to-face? Do you want your child to receive remote learning? Or are you not sending your child to Brenham ISD and you're withdrawing your child? We're asking you to choose one of those 3 options. Once you've made that choice, you will be committed to honoring that choice for one grading period, a 6-week grading period. So thank you for choosing that. If you choose not to answer, then your child will be placed in our in-school face-to-face instructional model. One area that there were many questions has to do with athletics. This past Tuesday, the UIL released a modified schedule. The modified schedule says that September the 7th, our team tennis and cross country can begin matches and meets. On September the 7th, we can begin practice in volleyball, football, and the marching band. September 14th will be the first day that volleyball can play games, and September 24th is the first day that we can play a football game. Coach Allen and his team, they're in constant communication with the districts that we compete against, because remember that those districts might have different stipulations as to when their teams can compete. So as more information comes forward, we'll make sure we release that information to you. This morning I met with the Teacher Advisory Group. The Teacher Advisory Group consists of teacher representatives from each school campus. The purpose of the meeting this morning was to gain input and feedback from them so they could share the challenges and obstacles that they'll face with the reopening of school. It was a very productive meeting, and I'm excited to tell you our teachers are anxious to return, but they do have many questions, and we're going to address those questions as we move forward. The one thing that I have told our teachers and other staff is that we have got to remain flexible and be fluid in how we move forward. I also met with principals yesterday to discuss the reopening plans and where they are as a campus. And they're continuing to make preparations for the start of school. I want to remind you once again that the surveys that went out, the deadline is tomorrow, July 24th, and it's imperative that we get as much information as possible so that we can make preparations for the beginning of school. I can tell you that there's some adjustments that we're looking at and some modifications to our calendar and schedule so that we can best meet the needs of our students and staff in a very safe and healthy environment. I want to end with this. We need to be Cub strong. And once again, we need to be committed to the undertaking that we have in hand, committed to our efforts. We need to be united. We need to be united in everything that we do, because together we can accomplish much. And we need to be bold. We need to be bold not only in our innovation, not only in thinking out of the box, but we need to be bold at this time in our decision making. We need to be bold in making sure that we're doing everything to make sure that our students and staff are safe and healthy. Because when we're committed, when we're united, when we're bold, that makes us Cub strong. Thank you for attending tonight's session. Have a great weekend, and God bless.
Can we do one of this too? Like